Hello, hi, I'm Dr. Gurung. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. I managed to finish this lovely book, which is called What Are You Doing with Your Life? This is a book written by Mr. Krishnamurti. I came across this book while listening to some of the podcasts from India. This was one of the book that was highly recommended by a lot of the speaker who came for a podcast. This book really helped me to ignite my spiritual side of my life. There are a lot of things that made me really wonder about my existence after reading this book. It would be very difficult to summarize the things which I get to experience in this last 5 days. But let me just try to recap. There were five themes which I really found it fascinating about this book. Number one thing which I found fascinating is there were a couple of terms which I thought were similar, but after reading this book, I now realize there's a lot of difference in those terminology. One of the vocabulary that I used to think loneliness, especially if I think from if I put my psychiatric hat, loneliness is one of the themes that I see a lot in my patient who suffers from depression. Loneliness can even be common in people who have got everything in their life, like money, fame, family. Loneliness is being empty within. But while reading this book, I discovered a new term called aloneness, which is quite different to loneliness. People might, enjoy one's company. That doesn't mean that they are lonely. In order to experience aloneness, one of the things that I would recommend is we need to love ourselves. We need to know our own happiness, desires, and the more we know about ourselves, then we'll be able to experience this aloneness, which is a positive version of loneliness. The other thing which I also found quite fascinating is there's a difference between knowledge and learning. With knowledge is basically collecting the facts. Learning is an active process. It's like a river flowing. There's no any start. There's no any end. It keeps on moving. One of the things that we also need to be mindful is our brain and mind. When we are born, we are conditioned according to our religion, culture, and the community from where we come from. So it's very important to differentiate what to think and how to think. Okay, so this really will help you um, to remove some of the prejudice and the bias that you have. There was one sentence which really stuck in my mind, and the one sentence was a person who is able to separate an atom but is not able to separate self from an ego is basically like creating a monster. That means a person who has got the scientific mind even to separate an atom, but is not able to, separate their ego, their fear, their worries, their emotions from oneself. It seems like that person, who is not able to win himself, I don't think will be able to win the world. Okay. The other thing which I found interesting in this book is I thought love was a strong emotions, but what I've also realized is care seems to be a better version than the love. Uh, the examples that in this book they gave was, for example, I love amusement. So love is always attached with some external factor. But when you say care, that means that you don't need an external factor to show affection to other people. Uh, there were two more themes that which I really enjoyed about this book. It helped me to broaden my understanding about meditation. Now my understanding of meditation is to have a still mind. That means that letting go of what you have learned before. Um, The best way, the best version to encapsulate this thought is, a cup is only useful when it's empty. That means that in order to be useful, it's important that we need to let go of our all the clouded, cluttered emotions which may be pleasant, unpleasant. We need to remove, and we need to live by moment to moment. Uh, the last bit which I really want to say about this book was, it helped me to have a better understanding about death. Okay, and death is something that will come to our life whether we like it or not. And in order to deal with death, one of the things that which I really um, find interesting is, in order to accept death, we need to let go of our desires and fulfillment. If you have desires or fulfillment that needs to be done, it's a very continuous process, and despite of having everything, it would be very difficult just to let go of the fear of death. So the best way to deal with death is to live by moment to moment. So you have to think that every day is a life, and the moment you sleep, you die, and you need to wake up every morning with a sense of that you are reliving or renewing. Okay, so that is all that I have to recap of this book. And I finished this book, and a new book from tomorrow. Thank you very much.